What's going on, everyone? Bran here from Bloody Breakdown, and if you think my return to this channel with some Scream 7 casting news was epic, wait till you see this. So wow, I thought I had some really interesting news for you guys 2 weeks ago when I reported right here on this channel that the Meeks Martin twins would be returning to Scream 7, and something I don't think a lot of us saw coming, considering the shift in the tone, the shift in the story, the shift in these characters that we all assume we're getting ever since Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega's departure from the franchise, at least for the time being anyway, under Spyglass, I would assume. But holy shit, if you see here, right over here, you'll notice Scott Foley has joined the cast of Scream 7. Now, I assume most of you watching this video probably already know why this is important, but let's talk about it for those who may not. Scott Foley is actually the man who played Roman Bridger, the only, as we know, or that we know, solo Ghostface in the entire series. Sid's brother, Roman Bridger, in Scream 3. My personal favorite Ghostface, the goat face, if you ask me, but that's neither here nor there. So he's coming back. The first thing you may think watching this and seeing this is like, okay, this is kind of odd. Scream has always been one of the more grounded in reality slasher franchises. You know, you don't have a killer that keeps coming back. You don't have people being resurrected. But that doesn't always mean you can't bring these characters that have died back. I mean, I think back to Maureen Prescott's I don't know, ghost, hallucination, dream. I always kind of tended to think it was more of a dream in Scream 3. Randy's video tape in Scream 3. Once again, he was already perished long from this world by then. Billy Loomis in Scream 5 and 6 is Sam's hallucination. So it's definitely possible to bring these characters back without, you know, completely changing the tone of the Scream world, kind of quasi living in reality, as it were. So there's several different ways that I think Roman could be brought back that are very interesting, that I would really, really love to see. But let's dig into the article here. It says, details regarding his character and the film's plot are currently under wraps. However, Foley is already a part of the Scream universe, having portrayed antagonist Roman Bridger, the film director and half-brother of Sidney Prescott, who was revealed to be the Ghostface killer of Scream 3. Foley's casting comes with its own set of questions because Roman was killed by Dewey at his request. Roman has faked his own death before, so it's plausible that he could reprise the role in the present, or perhaps in flashbacks in the form of the past if he's deceased. So let me just go ahead and stop right there and say, I don't see him actually being here. I don't see Roman Bridger, the character, actually being alive in current present day. I don't see Scream doing that. I think that if we're going to have if we're going to have Scott Foley, the actor, your options are, number one, playing a different character. I'm not really a huge fan of that, honestly. I think it works in some series, like say, for example, the Chucky TV series, where we've seen several actors portray more than one character. But I think that's kind of because that series is a bit more campy. It works. I don't think it works here. And I think that seeing Scott Foley back really means we're going to get, in my opinion, his voice, the voice of Roman Bridger, possible flashbacks, possible hallucinations or dream sequences. Kind of what we've seen in the past from Scream. I think that's what we're going to be seeing going forward in the case of Roman. But of course the article goes fucking ham talking about long lost twins or zombies or whatever the fuck. But that's definitely not going to be happening. You know, at least based on what we've seen in this 6-film franchise thus far, that I've never been given the indication that Woodsboro is going to be overrun by zombies of past Ghostfaces. So I don't think we have to worry about that. However, there is more. This isn't just a video about the return of Roman Bridger to Scream 7. This video is about the return of another Ghostface in Scream 7. I prayed for this, and it happened. Ladies and gentlemen, the Stuthers. Maybe we have not been justified yet, but we have sure been placated because, ladies and gents, Matthew Lillard is officially coming back for Scream 7 as well. Now, do you see what's happening here? Do you see what's happening? It looks, at least to me, like this film is going up and snatching, maybe not all of, but the majority, or the more important, or the more impactful to Sydney Ghostface killers. Roman was her brother. Stu was one of her friends in high school. It looks to me like this film is going to be doing something incredibly interesting. And considering we've been hearing a lot about how AI is going to be a theme, is going to be utilized in this film, considering how I don't really foresee, especially in Roman's case, him coming back. And to be honest with you, as much as I would love to see Stu back, I think we're probably going to be dealing with Stu the same way Roman is being dealt with. I would love to see him back in present day. He's one of the only Scream killers who, at least in my estimation and the estimation of thousands of other people around the world, who isn't really confirmed dead, so to speak. So maybe, I still hold out a little bit of hope to potentially see Stu Macher back as a character in the current day world. I'm not going to hold my breath for it. But it looks to me like what we have going here is something that's going to be utilizing AI. As we've heard, this film is probably going to be utilizing as a theme of the film. The voices of these killers, you got to think Roman had a way ahead of its time voice changer that it might actually be able to function these days, might actually be a thing. Thanks in part to AI, to call Sydney, to mess with her as the voice of Stu, or the voice of Roman, or the voice of who knows how many other ghosts are going to be cast in this thing. But let's dig into the article, because holy shit, this is huge, folks. Like, not to take away anything from Scott Foley, but at all, because like I said, he's the GOAT Ghostface for me personally, IMO. But this is huge to have Stu back in Scream, even if it is some type of flashback, even if it is some type of hallucination, dream, what have you. That would still be huge. So let's dig in. Both of these came courtesy of Deadline. Deadline was really dropping the exclusives hard the other day with these. No spoiler alert here. Matthew Lillard, who played Stu Macher in the first 1996 Scream movie, is returning to the franchise for Spyglass and Paramount's Scream 7. How is that possible? We will see. Does Stu have a twin? God, I hate that. Why do they keep doing this? Doesn't look like it from Lillard's Instagram post. Last we saw the horror movie obsessed Stu, he was chasing Sydney, or Neve Campbell's Sydney, down 29 years ago, attempting to kill her. However, she had the upper hand, dropping a TV on his head. Also, you'll remember that Billy and Stu began stabbing each other to make themselves look like the victims just moments before Sydney kicked their ass. So yeah. Of course, he's going to be joining Neve and Courtney, Scott Foley, who we just mentioned, Mason Gooding and Jasmine Savoy Brown, who we talked about in the last video, returning. Of course, alongside newcomers Isabel May, which, by the way, I keep hearing Sid's daughter's name is going to be Tatum. That's chef's kiss. Good stuff. Celeste O'Connor, Asia German, McKenna Grace, Sam Reckner, Anna Camp, Joel McHale, that's fake Mark, in case anyone's keeping up, and Mark Consuelos, rounding out the cast there. So there you go. Once again, another confirmed returning from the grave, at least so we think, Ghostface in Matthew Lillard, Stu Macher. Those two were absolutely confirmed by Deadline. It's happening. They're going to be returning. We don't really 100% know, once again, in what type of capacity that would be. My theory, once again, is that this new killer is going to be utilizing AI technology. And, I can't just say it's my theory. I've heard other people kind of put this together as well, but it's the one that I think works the best to mess with Sydney. You think about the killers from the past that would have the most impact on her. You got to think Billy and Stu, the ones that really started this all. You got to think Mrs. Loomis, maybe even Mickey, considering how good he was at getting in with this friend group and kind of being a part of a support system for her, killing her boyfriend, the one that wasn't trying to maim her. Definitely Roman. I'd even go as far as to say Jill. Probably not Charlie and the killers from Scream 5. Definitely not the ones from 6, so she never really had any interaction with. But I could definitely see at least bringing those, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Scream Killer's Ghostface is back for this thing. Now, I have been hearing some rumors about a possible return of Jill from Scream 4 to this franchise, but nothing on that as of yet. However, you got to think, with Skeet Ulrich returning for Screams 5 and 6, there's got to be room for Billy, right? Well, we've got a rumor that says that could be the case. So there's a leaker out there, an insider named Daniel RPK, who he's reporting this, and once again, this isn't official like the last were, but he is reporting that we are going to be seeing the return of Billy Loomis once again in Scream 7. Now, once again, this hasn't been confirmed like the other two have, but you got to think, with him being open to coming back for 5 and 6 for those small roles, I definitely don't see why he wouldn't be a part of this one as well. Hasn't been confirmed, but I think at this point it's pretty safe to say that we're going to be seeing Skeet again. Lol, love that name. And I think at that point, IMO? I think we're going to be seeing a possible Laurie Metcalf addition to the cast. Timothy Oliphant, I think, is a possibility. And Jill as well, I think, is a possibility. Miss Roberts herself there. I think it's definitely a possibility to see all of these killers coming back because, like I said, I really think, based on what we know, we're going to see some reliance on AI being a tone of this movie, being a theme of this movie, rather. I think Sydney's really going to be messed with utilizing the appearance or voices, definitely, of these past killers. And I think this Scream movie, you know, after this news came out, I've seen a lot of people shitting on this thing preemptively, saying this thing's already garbage. What are they doing? I got to tell you, under Kevin Williams' idea, under his direction, I don't think he's going off the rails with this thing. I think it's going to be kept on the rails. I think they're going to find a way to utilize these characters, or have already found a way to utilize these characters that doesn't really go outside the bounds of the Scream universe and what we've established the rules are, no pun intended, going forward. So I love this news. I think we're going to get some really good fan service, and even more importantly than that, I think we're going to get a really good story here, a really good Sydney-centric story that we really haven't had since Scream 3, to be perfectly honest. So I'm excited. I think you guys are probably excited, but let me know what you think down below in the comments. You know, I am going to be covering more than just Scream 7. I know that since I've come back to this channel, the only videos I've made have been about Scream 7, but that's because since I've come back to this channel, that's like it's just been one Scream casting announcement after the other. It's been really exciting. So let me know what you all think down below in the comments. Do all that other YouTube stuff, you know, leave a like, subscribe, share me out, all that stuff that helps out in the algorithm. Much appreciated. And I'm Brand from Bloody Breakdown, and I've just given you the Bloody Breakdown on possibly the biggest Scream casting news ever.